In a small town bustling with ordinary lives, there was a modest diner where a kind-hearted black waitress named Clara worked tirelessly. Every day, she greeted customers with a warm smile, serving pancakes and coffee with a gentle touch that made everyone feel at home. But Clara's heart was especially drawn to children in need. One rainy afternoon, as she was finishing her shift, two young orphans, Liam and Sophie, wandered into the diner, shivering and hungry. They had been left to fend for themselves after the sudden death of their parents. Clara immediately noticed their plight. Without hesitation, she offered them warm food, dry clothes, and comforting words. Over the next few weeks, Clara took it upon herself to check on them every day. She fed them, gave them school supplies, and even helped them with their homework after her shifts. Though she had little money herself, Clara always insisted, no child should go hungry. The townsfolk often praised Clara's kindness, but she never sought recognition. She simply believed in doing good because it was the right thing to do. Liam and Sophie grew attached to her, calling her Aunt Clara, even though she wasn't related to them. Those moments of warmth and care left an indelible mark on the children's hearts. But life went on, and soon Clara's days blended into routine. She didn't expect anything in return, never imagining that her small act of kindness would come full circle in a way she could never have dreamed. 15 years had passed since that rainy afternoon when Clara, the kind black waitress, had first fed two orphan children, Liam and Sophie. Time had a way of moving quietly, almost imperceptibly, until one day, the past returned in a way Clara could never have anticipated. Clara was still living in her modest home at the edge of town. Her hair now carried streaks of gray, and lines had begun to form around her eyes, but her spirit remained undiminished. She had continued working at the same diner, serving regulars who had become like family. The diner smelled of fresh coffee and baked bread every morning, a comforting aroma that had welcomed generations. Despite the simplicity of her life, Clara found joy in small things, the smiles of customers, a kind word exchanged, or a child's laughter. Yet, she often wondered what had become of the two orphans she had once helped. Liam and Sophie had left town many years ago, adopted by loving families. Clara had kept in touch for a while, exchanging letters and phone calls, but life had taken everyone on their own paths. Clara often thought about them late at night, hoping they were safe, happy, and thriving. Her memories of those rainy days were vivid, the look of hunger and fear on their small faces, the way Liam had hesitated before taking the first bite of her food, and how Sophie had clutched the blanket she had given them as if it were a treasure. One crisp autumn morning, Clara stepped out of her house to collect the newspaper. The sun had barely risen, casting golden hues across the quiet street. That's when she saw something she could not immediately comprehend, a sleek, shiny luxury car parked in front of her home. It gleamed in the morning light, its chrome rims reflecting the surroundings with a mirror-like polish. Clara blinked, rubbed her eyes, and shook her head, thinking perhaps she was imagining things. As she stood there, two familiar figures stepped out of the car. Her heart skipped a beat. She could hardly believe her eyes. It was Liam and Sophie, no longer the small, frightened children she remembered, but young adults radiating confidence, grace, and success. Liam, taller and strong-looking, wore a sharp suit, while Sophie, elegant and poised, carried herself with a quiet strength. Aunt Clara, Sophie's voice, soft yet unmistakable, cut through the morning air. Clara's knees almost gave way. Tears welled up in her eyes as she ran toward them. "It can't be, is it really you two?" Liam laughed warmly, the same mischievous spark from childhood evident in his eyes. "Yes, Aunt Clara, it's really us." They embraced her tightly, holding her as if they never wanted to let go. Clara could feel their growth, the years of life and experiences they had gone through, yet they were still the same children who had warmed her heart all those years ago. After a few moments, Liam pulled back and held out an envelope. "We have something for you," he said. Clara took the envelope, trembling. She hesitated before opening it, feeling a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Inside, she found a small note and a key. The note read, "For all the love you gave us, for the meals, the warmth, and the countless hours you spent caring for us, may this help you live your dreams. You have given us everything when we had nothing. Now it's our turn to give back." Clara's hands shook as she looked up at them. I don't understand. This is too much. You two, you've grown into amazing people, and you remember me." Sophie smiled softly. "Of course we remember you, Aunt Clara. You saved us when no one else would. You showed us what love looks like, even when it was hard to find. We never forgot that, not for a single day. Liam gestured toward the car. That's for you. We want you to have something that reflects the life you deserve, because you gave us the foundation to reach ours. Clara's mind raced. Luxury cars, wealth, and success had never been part of her world. She had been content with her simple life, but this was something else entirely. She felt a swirl of emotions, grief for the years past, gratitude for their thoughtfulness, and an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. She had never expected that her small acts of kindness would return to her in such a grand, tangible way. They spent the morning together, reminiscing about old times. Clara laughed as Liam recalled how he had accidentally spilled soup on her apron the first day he visited the diner. Sophie reminded her of the time she had drawn a crayon picture of the diner and insisted Clara hang it on the wall. Every memory was vivid, filled with warmth and love. As the day went on, Clara learned what Liam and Sophie had achieved. Both had excelled in their respective fields. Liam had become a successful entrepreneur, while Sophie had built a career in law, advocating for children in need. They spoke of the challenges they had faced and how Clara's guidance had given them the courage to persevere. You were our role model, Liam said. Not because of money, not because of status, but because of how you treated us, how you treated everyone. You taught us compassion, generosity, and integrity. That's more valuable than anything else. Clara felt tears streaming down her face. She had never considered herself extraordinary. She had simply done what she thought was right. But hearing their words, seeing the adults they had become, she realized the profound impact one person's kindness can have. Later that afternoon, Clara sat in the driver's seat of the luxury car, a mixture of disbelief and excitement washing over her. Liam handed her a small stack of documents detailing insurance, registration, and maintenance, ensuring she felt comfortable and secure. Clara ran her fingers over the smooth leather, marveling at the elegance of the vehicle. It was a symbol, yes, but more importantly, it was a testament to the lives she had touched through her love and selflessness. As she drove through the town she had always called home, Clara noticed how familiar everything felt: the diner, the street corners, the park where she had once walked with Liam and Sophie. Yet, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The world had changed, and so had she, in ways she hadn't realized. That evening, they returned to her home, where the three of them sat together over dinner. Clara shared stories from her life, the highs and lows she had experienced over the years, and Liam and Sophie listened intently. They spoke of their own journeys, the challenges they had overcome, and the lessons they had learned. The conversation flowed effortlessly, filled with laughter, nostalgia, and tears. As night fell, Clara looked out at the luxury car parked under the soft glow of the street lamp. She knew it was more than just a vehicle, it was a symbol of love, gratitude, and the power of kindness. It represented a full circle, a life touched and returned in the most beautiful way. Clara realized that true wealth isn't measured in money or possessions, it's measured in the lives we touch and the love we give. Her heart swelled with pride, knowing that a simple act of feeding 2 orphan children had set them on a path to success and happiness. And now, they had found a way to honor her sacrifices and generosity. Before they left that night, Sophie took Clara's hand. "Aunt Clara, remember, you don't have to wait for something grand to happen to see the impact you have. Every day, every act of kindness, even the small ones, creates ripples. You're living proof of that." Clara smiled, her eyes glistening. "I always hoped I was doing some good in this world, but I never imagined it would come back like this. You two are my greatest reward." And so, Clara's life changed forever. She continued working at the diner, but now with a renewed spirit and resources to pursue her dreams. She traveled, helped more children in need, and shared her story with others, inspiring countless people to understand the true value of compassion. The luxury car parked outside her home was just a reminder: sometimes, life rewards those who give selflessly, not in the way they expect, but in ways that touch the soul. Clara knew that her kindness had created a legacy that would endure long after that first rainy afternoon, and she felt a profound peace knowing that the world was a better place because she had simply cared. 15 years after feeding 2 orphan children, Clara finally understood that the smallest acts of love can grow into something extraordinary, sometimes, even enough to change lives forever.